Good evening, friends. Meeting again in the session of Materia Medica. Yesterday we have learned one more polycrest, that is Nitrum carbonicum. Day before that we have learned Naja tripodans. So we are discussing remedies from different kingdoms. Today we are going to learn one more polycrest. In fact, I think it is not possible to finish that remedy in today's session. That is nitricum acidum. Because this remedy has a multi-dimensional aspects. This remedy is from psychosyphilitic miasm, and you get all the varieties of or presentations of both the miasms in a single remedy. And that's why we have to learn it by heart. There are multiple cases I have treated with nitric acid. One case I want to share with you. It was interesting. It was a case of fissure in ano with a warts around the eye, around the anus. And it was there since last 5-6 years. Here's this fellow who was nearly about 45 years of age, who tried to remove them by cautery, who tried to, he tried allopathic treatment. In fact, he has done anal dilatation also previously, used to use the medicines purgatives consecutively, but still he was not getting the results and the what's record. This is what he has told. And he has troubled a lot because he was not able to sit properly because of that. I I asked details about the case, and one thing which he has explained that, doctor, it has started nearly about 10 years back. Why? When my younger daughter, who was just 18, and she ran away with one of the fellow. And I could not tolerate that. It disturbed me a lot. Because of that, I could not able to show my face to the world. She tried to contact me. She tried to contact my wife. But I have never allowed again to talk with her, and I never allowed again her to enter in my house till today. It disturbed, it spoiled my life, and I will not forget. And I'm damn sure that I will not going to talk to her forever. From my point of view, she has completely died. I never expect. In fact, I feel that she was no more my daughter. And this will not going to change. But that problem itself made me responsible, from that time, I have started suffering a lot. First, I have started getting cracks at the corners of mouth. I was treated by lot of allopathic medicines. They have given the multivitamins, they have given the folic acids and all those things. And lot of things. Ultimately, it has little bit settled. But then I started getting the burning in anus. So I felt it might be because of fault in diet, but it was not. Then I have consulted the doctor. They said that it is fissure is there. So they have given certain medicines. With that, I felt better for a week. And again it recurred. Then I have shown it to the surgeon. He said that your anus has become constricted. We have to dilate it, and then you will not have the problem. He has dilated it. temporarily again I felt better, but thereafter I started getting some growths over there at the anus. So again I went to the same doctor, same surgeon, and he said that there are now warts. He said that you have to remove them either by surgery, either by cautery. So I went to a skin specialist who has cauterized them. But within span of 2-3 months, it recurred. And I'm off and on continuing with all those allopathic medicine. But now it has been increased so strongly that I could not able to sit properly. And that's why I am there. So this history itself is very important. The physicals as well as mentals. As Amit has very rightly explained over there, the rubric, hatred persons of unmoved by an apologies. This is very strongly present in nitric acid. Once the vindictiveness develops in their mind, they never listens to anyone. Finished. They cannot be moved by apology, not at all. Nothing changes their mind. So fixed, so rigid. That's why the psychotic entity is there in mind. And extreme psychotic is syphilis. That's why this remedy is psychosyphilitic remedy. That was first important entity which was there with this remedy. Second important feature was fissure in ano, characteristic of again nitric acid, a psychosyphilitic condition. And when I have examined him, it was not warts. These are warts. Okay, agreed, but they are flat warts, condylometallata. Then I asked one question to him. Have you suffered any time in your past from the any eruptions on your penis? Any problem? And he said, yes, doctor. I had suffered when I was just 25 years of age before marriage. I had a problem over there on my penis and it was treated with penicillin and doctor have given some ointments to apply. They have given the course for 5 injections and I have taken that 5 injections. I think it might be penicillin if I am not wrong, and they have given that. So there was a history of syphilis very early in his life. Syphilis reappears, it reappears always with the mixed miasm. Condylomata is always one of the presentation in secondary syphilis. So see, this is a mixed miasmatic case. It is psychosyphilitic case. And I have given him a nitric acid in 30 potency, few doses on day one, few doses on second day, followed by the placebo. And I said that let it continue and tell me what's the progress of. Meet me after 10 days. He met me after 10 days. His fissure in ano, the pains have stopped completely. He was happy because he was able to sit properly. And then this what starts regressing. I have continued him on placebo. Again, after 15 days, the warts were regressed too much. The fissure completely healed. So he was better. So I have again kept him on placebo. Nearly about 2 months, I have given him only placebo. After 2 months, I have given 200 potency. Then after 2 months, 1 M potency. When I reached the 1 M potency, the thoughts in his mind changed. The person's face which was there earlier at the time of consultation has changed. And he told me one thing, doctor, after 10 years, I met my daughter yesterday. I felt too relaxed after meeting her. She is quite happy with him, but I was wrong that I was not contacted or not kept the contact with her. See, this is the level where the homeopathic remedy works. It has changed that wrong thought, fixed idea in the mind. hatred persons of unmoved by an apology. That has changed because of nitric acid when I have given it in high potency. And this is rise at that inner plane. So this is nitric acid. I think tomorrow we'll discuss one more case of nitric acid. Today we'll finish some part of the nitric acid. It is a wonderful remedy to be learned. Nitric acid, HNO3. Nitric acid is a remedy which you cannot use in material form because it is a very skin irritant, in fact, poison. It can directly scalds your skin if you just get a touch of it. So this is very dangerous remedy in crude form. So we have to prove it and as well as utilize it in potentized form. Nitric acid, specially suited to thin persons of rigid fiber, dark complexion, black hair, and eyes. So see, the first sentence itself suggests exactly the constitution of the person. These are the persons who are literally dark complexion. Very important feature, dark complexion, rigid fiber. The fibers are rigid, strong, tough, hardworking. These are persons looks like causticum. Causticum are also similar, having the similar type of constitution. Black hair and eyes. Rather, the brunette rather than the blonde. Brunette means little bit सावळा रंग आपण म्हणतो गव्हाळ brunette rather than blonde. The nervous temperament. Nervous temperament means they are on the tip of their nerves. They are very mm, quick to react at the because of their nervousness. Nervous system is too active. Nervous temperament, very irritable, very angry, hard, very strong, very easily reacting. The persons with chronic diseases who take the cold easily. So this is a remedy, very important remedy for chronic diseases. Miasm, psychosyphilitic, all chronic diseases from this miasm belongs to the nitric acid. These are persons who used to take cold easily, very easily affected by the cold, are easily disposed to diarrhea. Another feature, recurrent, very easily developed diarrhea. All of a sudden, diarrhea develops. Very change of food habits and diarrhea develops. Rarely to those who suffers with the constipation. So diarrhea is more common than the constipation. Very occasionally you get the constipation in nitric acid. It is not like Naxomica. Naxomica, it is alternate diarrhea and constipation. With this, it is not so. It is more commonly the diarrhea. Old people with great weakness and diarrhea. Diarrhea in old people, the recurrent diarrhea in old people, the weakness, the debility as the characteristic of acid group, which is also present. And this is more of a senile remedy. This is a remedy which generally happens to be there after 40 plus. So very important feature, the debility which happens to be there in old people who suffers from diarrhea. Excessive physical irritability. These are the people who are very irritable, physically irritable. How are the pains? The pains are sticking. They are pricking as from splinters. They are pricking someone as if someone is taking the prick over there. Sticking as if something has have been sticked over there. Splinter-like pains. That is third more important. Yes. Pricking as from splinters. Splinters as if someone have torn, taking the cuts inside. These pains everywhere, whether it is they are in the throat, whether they are in the rectum, wherever they are, the characteristic of pain is like that. That's why pains are mentioned under nitric acid and they are very
Sir, your
therapeutic.
voice is very low, sir. Can you keep your mic a little bit higher?
Is it okay now? But it is.
Yes, sir, little bit of okay. Earlier, it is better than earlier.
So These are the pens which are very characteristic of the nitric acid. They are splinter-like pens, they are sticking type of pens, they are pricking type of pens, suddenly appearing and disappearing. The pens are sudden, they are not slow. They appear very suddenly and disappear suddenly, like belladonna. The pens are not never remains for longer time of duration continuously. Pens on change of temperature or weather. So whenever there is a change of temperature, whenever there is a change of weather, the pen starts. So they are sensitive to the external impressions. So it is a reflection which happens to be there because they are of nervous temperament. Nervous temperament persons are sensitive enough, tense during sleep. So they are not only during the daytime, whenever a person is happy, person is enjoying his life, but they are also present during his sleep also. So during daytime, they are not there. Pains gnawing here and there as from ulcers forming. So pains are as if someone is pulling, gnawing, and as if it will going to torn. Very severe type of pain. So characteristic of the nitric acid is regarding the sensation of a pain. How the pains are there. So patient will going to tell you all those details. Doctor, I'm having very severe pain, as if someone is, my throat, someone is stabbing over there, there is severe pricking, I cannot. So he used to use very specific words for that. These are very essential because that is characteristic of nitric acid. There are many more characteristics. The pains are characteristic. One of them is pain. So pains are very characteristic in nitric acid. Sensations. See, the sensation. The pains have finished. Now he turns toward the sensation. What are the different sensations? Sensation of a band around the head. Sensation of band around head, around the bones, like carbolic acid, like sulfur. So band-like sensation around head. Someone have been tied it. That typical feature which is present in nitric acid. So sensations are again characteristic which defines the remedy. Second important sensation, sensation of a splinter in affected parts. Ulcers, piles, throat, ingrowing toenails. That is, this is one more remedy for ingrowing toenails. I think I have shared a remedy, magnetis polus australis. That is very important specific remedy generally used for ingrowing toenail. But nitric acid, one should not forget if the splinter-like pains are present. Because it cuts inside. It enters inside and cuts, and that creates a severe type of pain. So ingrowing toenails, the severe sore throats, severe cracks at the corners of mouth, fissure in ano, hemorrhoids with fissures, many times fistula in ano, condylometalata, all those features where the splinter-like pains or such types of pains are very, very typical and they are aggravated by on slightest contact. Touch aggravates. So even though the pain is there in the anus, they cannot see it because touch aggravates. They are very sensitive, very, very sensitive. So sensitivity is another characteristic of the nitric acid. They are very sensitive to many things. Then he further explains about the elements, which are the causes behind them. Elements which depend upon some virulent poison, elements from mercury, elements from syphilis, elements from scrofula, elements in broken down cachectic constitutions. So you're going to get many features, causes behind the disorders. What are the causes? One of them is mercury. What is the bad effects of mercury? Mercury was the line of treatment for the syphilis earlier. It was the treatment, local treatment of the syphilitic hard ulcer, and because of which hard ulcer used to disappear from the place. People feels they are getting better, but it enters inside, remains hidden for some time, reappears with secondary syphilis. So those features which develops after the use of mercury is labeled as the bad effects of mercury. So that is one feature which he has mentioned. Scrofula means it is associated with the glandular affections. Broken down cachectic constitution. The peoples who are broken down day by day, degeneration happens to be there. They are not looking young. They are turning towards the senility, losing their strength. So broken down constitutions, cachectic who used to suffer very easily, who used to suffer very early, cachectic constitution. So these are the different elements. After continued loss of sleep, that is another element one should not forget. Patient is not able to sleep for 2 days, 3 days, and he suffered from disorder, then think of nitric acid. After continued loss of sleep, long lasting anxiety, that is one more reason. So patient is suffering from long lasting anxiety, long continued anxiety, something is going on in his mind. Overexertion of mind and body from nursing the sick. Overexertion of mind as well as from of the body from nursing the sick. He has he was nursing the sick, and he is not having the time, and he's continuously working for the same, and he's suffering. Overexertion happens. The problem develops like cocculus. Anguish from the loss of his dearest friend. Anguish म्हणजे यातना. Anguish, severe type of pain happens to be there specifically at the mental level because of loss of friend. Very important feature at the mental level. Anguish from loss of his dearest friend. Indifference. So person becomes indifferent. He feels tired of life. Syphilitic entity, weary of life, tired of life, exhausted, debility. Sadness before menses, another characteristic modality. The person becomes, or lady becomes more sad before the menses. See, these are the features one should not forget where the remedy is defined. Then he says, great anxiety about his disease. Patient is very much worried about his disease. He always asks, doctor, are you sure that I will going to get better? He is more doubtful. Constantly thinking about his past troubles. Morbid, morbid fear of cholera. Fear of cholera, like arsenic album. The fears that they might get suffer from cholera. Depressed and anxious in the evening. Evening, they become sad, the mood is gone, they feel anxious. So anxiety more specifically in the evening. Irritable, headstrong. Irritable, they are quite irritable because nervous temperament. Headstrong means they are very strong with their thoughts, never changes. Hateful, hatred, very much hatred. If it is there, never forgets. Vindictive, kunchi. Inveterates, ill-willed, unmoved by an apology. They are very rigid with their thoughts. Once they the ideas becomes fixed in your mind, they never changes. It is rather difficult for one to change their mind because they are absolutely very strong at that level. So these are the features which one should not forget regarding the mind. I think it's better to stop over here, and tomorrow we'll continue with the rest of the remedy, because this part, the physical aspect of the nitric acid is one more thing one has to learn. That gives a lot of things. So I think we'll stop over here. Tomorrow I will going to share one more case, and then we'll continue with the remedy and we'll finish that remedy. So this is one remedy one should not forget. This is too important to understand. Many times we get such types of cases in our OPDs. So we have learned one aspect of nitric acid, the psychological aspect, the constitution, and the miasmatic aspect of nitric acid in today's session. Tomorrow we're going to learn the remaining part of nitric acid. So that's all for today. We'll meet again tomorrow. Thank you and good night.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Good night.